last video in this series that we're doing on inventory, kind of an overview of how inventory works in QuickBooks. For most people, the series has contained all the information that you need, including this video, in order to manage your inventory in QuickBooks. For some people, it can get more complicated. We'll try to do some more in the future that shows some of those special situations that require a little extra knowledge or an extra use of features in QuickBooks to try to figure out how to manage those. But for most people, I think we've covered those things in QuickBooks that you need in order to manage your inventory. So in this last one, we just want to look at a couple of reports and kind of show you how all that ties together, and how to adjust inventory. That's something that we're always going to have to do from time to time. So let's start with the reports. So there's a section for inventory here off the reports menu. Let's look at the stock status by item. So it's kind of a nice little report. Here are the brass hinges that we've been using. We have 266 on hand. We have 45 reserved for assemblies. I mentioned in the last video, we haven't really covered assemblies. That's kind of a light manufacturing function where you put several items together to form a finished product that you sell, and that is live and being used in the sample file. So it's there. So that 45 is reserved for that process. So we take the 266 and we subtract the 45 that are reserved, and we have actually available 221 brass hinges. And we look over here in this column, you see we still have 20 that are on purchase order and that we have not received yet. If you've watched all of the videos, we created a purchase order for 50. We received 30 of those. 20 of those are still out, and there they are. So this report gives a nice little synopsis of kind of what's happening with each of our items. As you look down the rows, you find the different items, and you can see what's going on with each one of those. Another report that gets used a lot in the inventory section is the inventory valuation summary. Again, it lists each item, and it gives you some of the financial information about each item. So for instance, what's the average cost? How much do we have on hand then? If our total inventory asset, how is that broken up among the different items that we have, and so on. One thing that we always look for on our end, so if we're looking to see the accuracy of someone's QuickBooks, and if there are any errors in there that are really jumping out at us, kind of glaring mistakes, one thing that I always look at with someone that's using inventory is if we have total inventory valuation of $30,750 here, then for the same date, I should be able to look at a balance sheet and I should get the same number, which in this case I do, $30,750. That's great. I'm always really happy when it works out that cleanly. There's a couple of different reasons that it wouldn't, and I won't go into all of that. One is, the most common is someone working on their item list makes an inventory type item inactive, and that inventory item has quantity on hand, so it also has value on hand. Okay, balance sheet is not going to balance if QuickBooks doesn't count that inactive item in the total. So QuickBooks is definitely going to put that in the total. The inventory report, however, is only going to show active items, and so that's one reason those two reports might be different. That's the simplest one, so hopefully if yours is different, that's the reason why, because from there it gets more complicated. Okay, the last thing I want to show you is if you have inventory, I mean, stuff happens, if you need to count from time to time, and it's just very, very common that what you have on the shelf does not match what you have in QuickBooks. So hopefully it's a real small difference, but we still need to account for it. So we do that. I go to the vendor drop-down menu, and then to inventory activities and adjust quantity value on hand. This is the form that I get. What type of adjustment do I want to make? I want to adjust the quantity on hand. That's the most common. I could change the date if I needed to. Adjustment account. This is an important one. People get confused by this. Now, just by virtue of the fact that it's an inventory adjustment, QuickBooks knows that the one side of the accounting entry is to the inventory asset account. So if I were to choose, and I've seen this a number of times, if I were to choose the inventory asset account here, then if I have a shortage of items, I'm subtracting from inventory asset, and then by using this account here, I'm also adding to. I make no change in the inventory asset account whatsoever because both sides of that transaction are going to the same account. This should be an expense type of account. Cost of goods sold, preferably. That's what I usually use. I usually create a cost of goods sold type of account called inventory adjustments. And that's the account that I use. Okay, so here's where our items go. I have this little button here, find and select items. And I can select them all, just put everything on there. I've got several pages of an inventory account, and I'm going to check all of them. Or I just have an adjustment for one. I've just noticed that this one item is, the amount is, or the quantity is incorrect. So I could choose that one item and then pull that into my form. And then I have a column here. Well, what's the new amount? So let's say we counted these. We only had 256. We're supposed to have 266, but we only have 256. So we're 10 short. Obviously, I just have to fill out the one column. QuickBooks could do that math. You see that's a negative 10. It's going to subtract 10 from my quantity on hand. It's also going to subtract $30.27 from my inventory asset account because it multiplies the 10 times the average cost, and that tells QuickBooks that we need to lower that value by $30.27. So when I save this, then QuickBooks will make that adjustment. That's how you adjust the quantity of the inventory that you have on hand, because those little mistakes, things get damaged, things get lost. This is where you do that. Save and close, and there we go. It's done. If I were to go back now to inventory stock status, find brass hinge, I now only have 256 brass hinges where I had 266 before. So I hope that was helpful. And, if you have any questions, you can leave those in the comments. I try to get to those as much as I can. And thanks for watching.